Have you helped someone today? How? If not, why not? I'm working in it helpdesk.so. No. I found out that one of my friend's mums had volunteered to foster children. A few months ago, after not hearing anything for months, she was contacted and told she would be getting a 5-day-old newborn in a few days. Whilst getting some money for fostering, she didn't have the provisions for a brand new baby. I just posted a bunch of my baby's clothes to her, some chocolate, and a card telling her how much I think she rocks. I certainly hope it helps. I walked over to my neighbor's house with my dog and hung out for a while. His dog passed a few months back, so he likes it when I bring mine over and he gets to chill with him. Lol. Things suck right now, but I'm trying to not let it stop me from trying to be nice. Lol. Reversed an old guy's car out for him. Took the kids to the shops, saw a car parked like absolute garbage, over the line, mentally said what an fluffing idiot, saw an old guy come to said car and open the boot as I was putting the kids in my car. I then see him looking at the car puzzled and trying to open the driver's door and then the passenger's side. By the time I had the pram in, I realized he must have parked first and someone else has parked next to him, technically within their lines. I asked him if he was okay. He started to complain about how the other car had parked. Told him he was in the wrong, but if he wanted I could hop over from the passenger side, reverse his car out and straighten up so he could get in. He was all smiles and handshakes afterwards. You're the kindest person I ever met. I hope if my grandpa ever does such a garbage park he can't get in his car, some young whippersnapper helps him out. Someone has offered to pay for mine and my wife's hotel room for a week, and it means everything. We had prepared to be homeless for a week because of circumstances and just wanted a place for our dog to go so she wouldn't be out in the heat. This kind Redditor offered to pay the week we were not able to afford, and it truly means the world to us. This stranger provided us with a huge relief and we are so grateful. A girl at the train station asked me if I had some change to spare, and as I did I gave her some. She said that my eyes are pretty, so I guess we're even. Edit, thanks for the silver, so now I get to have pretty eyes and an imaginary coin. Darn, today is my day. No, but I had someone help me. There was a thunderstorm in the place that I am currently touring, and I, being the stupid piece of seaweed that I am, forgot to grab an umbrella or raincoat. Drizzle soon turns into a torrential downpour and I am soaked, but I have to wait at the bus stop. Didn't help that the bus was late as hell, but to be honest, I wasn't particularly bothered and had already resigned myself to a soaking wet fate, when this lady from the restaurant across ran over in the rain and passed me an umbrella for free. I tried to offer to return it later or pay some money in return, but she said it was fine and even apologized for giving me a small umbrella. God bless her. People like her remind me to stop being so cynical about the world we live in. Today I drove my sister to uni. Does that count as helping? Edit, thanks for the gold, kind stranger. This definitively made my day. Not really trying to get recognized for this, but I have been watching a lot of videos on YT recently about people helping people, so I stopped for a drink at a gas station, and on my way out I was stopped by some guy asking for a few dollars for gas to get him home to another town about an hour away. I can usually spot a druggie or scammer, but this guy was different. He seemed IDK, genuine, and I could tell he really needed the help, so I went to my truck to see if I had any spare change, and as I was fumbling around I felt compelled to just tell him, "Hey, where is your car? I'll just fill it up." He took me to it and he was thanking me the whole way, almost in tears, but that didn't prepare me for what I seen when I got to his car. His wife and 2 children looked really hungry and sad. I could tell he didn't really want to ask, but after I filled up his car I gave him a $20 and told him to get his family some food. He gave me a hug and asked why I was being generous, because almost everyone he encountered that night pretty much ignored him. I just told him that I grew up in poverty. My mom, a single mom of 3, would do anything for us kids. We went to church and did everything right, but always came up short in life. She was always asking for help and borrowing money, even had our church help pay our rent a few times so we wouldn't lose our home. I told him that generosity helped me early on in life, that asking for help is not always a bad thing. People fall on hard times, and since we were helped I just felt the need to help. He asked for an address so he can send some money back when he gets back on his feet, and I told him what anyone else would say, just to pay it forward and to teach his kids to do the same thing if they were ever in a situation where they could help another person who fell on hard times. He thanked me again and we hugged one last time before I left and continued on my way to work. I don't have a lot of money to begin with and I felt almost bad because I spent so much on one family, but after really thinking about it, maybe I could have made an impact on his life and his family, and that makes me feel really good. Not today, but a couple days ago, after a 14-hour night shift, I was driving home from work and saw a dog in the road. He had a collar, but no person, so I pulled over and tried to coax him to me with goldfish crackers, the only food I had left from lunch. Papa was wet and shivering. He went into the grass and hid. I called the police non-emergency number, but it was shift change on a Sunday morning and they ended up having to respond to another call. But then I noticed that the dog was sniffing around my car. I opened the door and stood back. Doggy hopped in and let me get close. I had the foot heater on, so he started getting warm. He had a tag, but it didn't have the owner's address, only the phone number. Called several times, but got no answer. Eventually, the calls went straight to voicemail. I figured she'd blocked my number because I don't have a local area code, waited for the cop for a while, then looked up the police station and saw it was only about a mile away. I decided to drive there with the dog, who was curled up in the footwell with a sweatshirt. At the police station, I found a missing ad on a Facebook group from the owner. The cop tried to find her address, but couldn't. I eventually left the dog there as I had to get home to sleep. But the cop later took the dog to the owner's house and they were reunited. The dog had gotten out Friday night and been returned Sunday afternoon. I'm looking after my son's dog while he's in work. I have to spend a couple of hours drinking tea, cuddling his idiot dog and reading a book. One think he's actually helping me out. The other day, a man was going through the dumpster of my apartment complex. I was suspicious that he was looking for personal information, so I took my trash out to get a closer look and see what he was doing, ready to confront him if necessary. He was clearly homeless and was collecting cans to turn in for the deposit returns. It so happened that my girlfriend and I had about 4 trash bags full of cans, so I went down and gave them to him. He was overjoyed and immensely grateful. I think I saw him tear up a little before I went back inside. Obligatory edit: holy cow, this blew up. I'll have to start planning how to use my newfound fame. Thank you, fellow Redditors, for the precious metals. No, because I've literally just got up. Was returning home from visiting a family member who was in hospital. I was waiting for the lifts and saw this woman who was having a meltdown there. People moved away and didn't want to intervene. She managed to make eye contact with me and a strong impulse made me walk over to her, put my arms around, hug her and console her. It was a while later when she told me that her mum had passed away a week before and that the previous night her sister had been in a major car crash, and #X200B, from experience, the most thoughtful gestures of kindness, the ones that stay with us forever, are the ones that are done quietly without a reward in mind. I helped my friend to get his lazy butt to the gym. I donated to my friend's fundraiser twice, once under my name and once under a fake name. She would have known it was me if I chose to go anonymous the second time. I did it because I wanted to help her kickstart her fundraiser and giving her a little confidence boost. Smiley face, edit. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this or not, but darn. You helped raise over $300 in less than 6 hours for a person you don't know just because it's a great cause. People of Reddit, I underestimated you and I'm sorry. You guys are wonderful. You should all pat yourselves on the back because what you've done is going to help save so many lives. Thank you all so much. So, I had a lady help me. I had a package for a client that had to be mailed today. My husband dropped me off with a $5. I naively thought that'd cover it. I've been off work with pneumonia and he got suspended from work by a false abuse claim. He was just cleared and is going back to work tomorrow. Yay, so things have been super tight. After the $5, we have $11 left until payday on Friday, so when the lady at the post office told me my package was going to be $7.35, I was pretty bummed. I told her that I'd be back with more money later, but this angel post office lady said not to worry about it and paid the remaining $2.35 with her own money so I could mail my art to the client. I could have cried. Things have been so rough lately and here was this woman being unbelievably kind to me. As soon as I left the post office I filled out the survey that they give you a link to and sang her praises. I just said she went above and beyond. I didn't say that she paid for me because I didn't know if she'd get in trouble for that. I am thinking about making her a nice card to tell her how much that gesture meant to me. Yeah, actually. I saw my neighbor thrashing his dog while I was cleaning my bike and he was walking the dog from in front of my house. His dog saw my dog standing beside me and started running towards me with full force, and this man absolutely thrashed his dog for pulling him. It wasn't even normal hitting or light punishment, it looked like he wanted to kill the poor thing. I walked up to him and asked him to stop, and after a heated verbal back and forth, I told him I'd call the pet welfare services and he panicked and told me about his anger and temper problems and how he uses his dog as an outlet. That was about 2 weeks ago. I'm still in touch with him. I'm keeping his dog with me and I finally let him see her after he started therapy. I hope to give it back to him after he's on meds or something. I'm still wonder what would have happened if I didn't see that 2 weeks ago. I feel happy to have saved the dog from abuse and give my neighbor the courage to go to therapy. Edit grammar. It was the first time in over a month for my granny to go outside, and I was right next to her, supporting every move she takes, not only with my body, but also with the words I was saying. She used to go out every day. She didn't need a walking stick or another person for support. She could do everything by herself, but as her 70th birthday was approaching, something happened. I am not sure what. Yes, she has her health issues, but nothing would suggest it was physical. She started saying she is afraid to be outside for fear of falling, or that people will make fun of her for not walking properly. She started talking about how useless she is and no words of encouragement and reassurance would help her state. She refuses to go see a doctor, starts crying whenever I mention going to one, and it saddens me and I feel very helpless. But the other day I told her that we will be going out in few days and she should trust me and that we will take it slow, and today she called me saying she was ready for the walk. That made me teary and gave me hope that I can be useful again, and that even if she is not back to the person she once was, at least she will improve her current situation.